Okay, begin part two. Okay, so I dig into um, this Howard Wheeler folder, and I see that he's been corresponding with Allen since about 1965, and that he is an assistant to Bhaktivedanta Sri Prabhupada, who is the person that brought the Hare Krishna movement, as we understand it, in other words, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, otherwise known as ISKCON, to the United States. And Howard must at some point have come to recognize and notice that Allen was prone. I assume this is how it happened, although I have no knowledge of how they actually came to reach out to Allen. And I'm only looking at Howard Wheeler's correspondence that Allen received. I don't know what Allen's responses were, but I can see through what he's saying, that they have been on stage together and that they chant together at different public appearances, and it's a friendly relationship. So that by itself I found really fascinating. Okay, I'm all these prompts. I've sort of run over my prompts, so these are all things that I've already shared from my memory, which is a better way to do it anyway. Okay. Backing up just a little bit. So, I had floated this theory that intuitively I'd come up with this theory several years ago, maybe 8 or 9 years ago now, that the key figures of the beats, Kerouac, Ginsberg, and William S. Burroughs, were archetypes of the Hindu godhead. Kerouac being Brahma, Ginsberg being Vishnu, William S. Burroughs being Shiva, the destroyer. Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the recorder, and Shiva is the destroyer. If you know William S. Burroughs, you know why he might be thought of as a destroyer. But what of this Vishnu thing? Well, first of all, to Hare Krishnas and those that worship Krishna, Krishna is a avatar of Vishnu, the recorder. A light bulb went on when I was told that Allen's archive consisted of 1,500 pages of just index, just table of contents, basically. Like, I love my skylights. Look at that. I've got that coming right in on my forehead. That's funny. And so I thought, the recorder. And if you know much about Allen, you know that he was an exhaustive champion of his friends' literary work. So he would carry their manuscripts around, mail them here and there to try to get them published. And then after they were published, he would work to get them paid, even up to and including giving people money out of his own pocket in order to support them if they weren't getting what they deserved from their publishers through royalties of their own. So that was my theory. Once again, Vishnu, the recorder. I correlate with Allen Ginsberg. Brahma, the creator, I correlate with Jack Kerouac. And Shiva, the destroyer, I correlate with William S. Burroughs. And Krishna is an avatar of Vishnu. So it makes sense that Allen would have a special feeling for Krishna. So we're going to delve into that just a little bit. So, couple of things. I don't know, which one of these should I read first? I could do it chronologically. Let's just start in 62. Let's drop us into 62. Allen was already in India for the first time. And in his dedication, he has a whole beautiful laundry list of people that inspired him, that he's now dedicating his book, the Indian journals, to these people. And so it's kind of a long run-on sentence, but contained in this run-on sentence is this bit. unknown Nepalese lady saint at the Magh Mela in Allahabad, 1962, who sang Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So sweetly, I remembered it thereafter. So this might be the reason, and I don't have any records of Alan chanting publicly between 62 and 65 when Howard Wheeler started to reach out to him, but I assume it must have taken place. And I believe he had it in part of his kind of personal sadhana as well. I don't know if he did it daily throughout his life, but it seems like there's some evidence that this was something that he definitely took to heart and practiced regularly. So that's 1962. All right. Now I'm going to get on. This is my old clunky phone, but it allows me to do tandem. I can record myself with audio. So let's see how long it takes for me to slide into this document that I can read. A dream that Alan had on the eve of his arrival in India for the first time. Come to Papa. There it is. Premonition Dream, November 1961, before he actually comes to India. Dream, after week of unhappiness and mood, arriving by ship on the shore and walking along vast boulevard by sea, street of Lucknow chickens in India, first dream of India, huge red and brown night boulevard by water, I walk alone, several miles in night along Oxmeat Market Street till I go through Fairyland Gate to the Rash Behari rich section with modern apartments on the seaside. A beautiful front street, rich waterfront like vaster Chicago. I wonder what city I'm in. I'm deliriously happy. It's my promised land. I'm writing this in the promised land. The night street has few people. I see chains of lights like Riviera Hotel facade facing the ocean. I'm coming to a big church front at last. It's the sign Christian All India Church. Fantastic door just made for me in concrete, like a blind one-eyed skull with sacred hearts in the bottom concrete declivity. As I bend to kiss the sacred heart, I read the funeral inscription. Well, it's too bad, but goodbye. I feel happy. It is like a sign through death here for me. The cosmic jokes come true in happy way. The wonder world where man knows he's in a dream, I pass on to a square with big candles. The bodies are on display on wooden scaffolds covered with white sheet and guarded by army soldiers in white. I'm amazed by this street display. So there we have Christianity popping up again in Alan's life. I don't know if he was scratching his head at that or how exactly that hit him. But there it is anyway. So fast forward a little bit. So there's this correspondence with Howard Wheeler, one of the head Hare Krishnas with Alan. And come about 1968, he says, we're going to be in Ohio at such and such university. We'd like you to join us again on stage. Prabhupada himself will be there, and we'd like to see you there. So Alan shows up, and the result of it was this big fat manila envelope that I pulled out and started to read. And it was a transcript of a conversation that he had with Prabhupada the day before the festivities. They were hanging out with some of the Hare Krishnas, Prabhupada, Peter Orlovsky, and just having conversation and rehearsing what they wanted to do the next day. And at a certain point, and it's, I have a copy of this. Like I said, I'm going off half-cocked, so this is going to be from my own memory. I'm not going to bother to read it because it would have been too cumbersome to prepare right now. So Prabhupada says Alan and Peter perform a William Blake song called Tu Tirza. Why they selected that, I don't know, but I assume since I was reading from a long transcript that somewhere, I don't know if the tape would have worn out and would have crumbled by now, but I would love to hear this. But Alan and Peter do Tu Tirza for Prabhupada, which contains the line, "The death of Christ has set me free. What have I to do with thee?" So why he chose to represent Jesus Christ in front of one of the most foremost representatives of Hinduism, Krishna, Vishnu, and the East, I don't know, but it did happen. Later in the conversation, Prabhupada says to Alan, I want you to get on stage with me, and I want you to take the microphone and say what you want, say what comes to your heart. And Alan, being Alan, said, well, I don't know if you really mean that, because I tend to, he didn't say this specifically, but he said, I'm not sure you want me to say whatever I want. Because he's thinking I'm in this high holy company, right? And Prabhupada says, I know Krishna is with you. I know you are not an ordinary man. And so say what you feel. And Alan pushes back one more time and says, well, I don't know about that, but anyway, Prabhupada says, and then one day I'll read the exact quote. Maybe I'll do a little addendum because I do have that. But Prabhupada says, I know you're not an ordinary man. Just say whatever it is. All right, all these prompts again. I've run over all these prompts. That's good. So, interestingly, he represents Jesus to one of the head honchos of Hinduism in Ohio. And later, well, I don't even know if it was later. Maybe the same year, he went on William F. Buckley Jr. I think he was on there before Kerouac was on there. That was a fun appearance. But he went on William F. Buckley Jr. and in front of a vast American audience chanted the Hare Krishna mantra. This one. Pow! And that was cool. Because again, he's would have been a largely Christian audience at that time. So what is the theme? The theme with this merging of East and West, and how I would like to sum all of this up, is to say that the beats were not about fracturing into counter cultures. They were about bringing things together, and so that people would have the opportunity to get onto the big stage, not the suspicious alternative stage that defined itself in opposition to some kind of mainstream notion of the bourgeois, of Lucian's bourgeois culture, which he transcended that by getting onto the big stage himself, always using Lucian as that touchstone. So that's the key. The beats brought things together instead of separating. Did I leave anything out? No. So, with that, just for the fun, I started with music. I'm going to end with some music. Let's turn this thing back on. It's going to make an annoying sound. Hopefully it won't blast your ears. There it goes. If I'm on with the Bluetooth, we're going to hear a little bit of Alan chanting the Maha Mantra in front of William F. Buckley Jr. and America. Let's see if it takes less than a half an hour for me to bring this up. Oh, listen to that. What's the quickest way to search this up on YouTube? It's going to be worth it, people. Listen, you're going to love this. GINSBERG. Somebody made it into a sweet little concise sound clip. That's a do. He does the LSD poem. That's fun. There it is. Hare Krishna. Let's get it on. Let's make sure that we're still on the Bluetooth. Yes. Without further ado, here's Alan.
Helpfulness and cooperation. I think the cause of their paranoia.
Hey. Hang on, the Bluetooth was on. Come back, Bluetooth. I guess it doesn't matter. I do have the you know what? I'm just gonna let it come through my microphone. Forget this big speaker. It could cause feedback. We don't want that. There it goes.
Is our paranoia. It's a mirror reflecting system. Two images are just reflecting each other's paranoia, building up like in a barroom brawl. The more we think in terms. If you keep this up, I'm going to ask you to read more poetry. Oh. Why am I singing instead? It's just that in politics you are a little bit naive. Well, that's a language naive. Yeah. I come from an old tradition. So. You know the Hare Krishna chant? Now go ahead. To the preservation of the universe instead of its destruction. Krishna returns in the Bhagavad Gita every time there's a flood, fire, original sin leading to atom bombs. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That was the most unhurried Krishna I ever heard.
That's all I got. Have a good day.